The digital invitation blinked on my laptop screen, its cheerful reds and greens twisting the knife in my chest. Join the Martin family for Christmas. It said in bold, happy letters. My own last name looked foreign there, as though I were some neighbor or distant relative instead of my mother's oldest child. The glittering design wasn't what froze me. It was the glossy family portrait beneath the words. My mother, her husband Gregory, and their 2 children, my half-siblings, posed in matching holiday sweaters, framed by a glowing tree. The caption underneath declared them the Martin family complete, and the phrase seemed to burn behind my eyes. I zoomed in on her face. My mother. The woman who'd sent me exactly 3 messages in the past 12 months. Happy birthday. Happy New Year. And 1 brief note announcing the arrival of my half-sister. That was the extent of her presence in my life. Yet here she was extending a neatly wrapped invitation to a holiday I hadn't been welcome at in years. Anger came unexpectedly, sharp and hot, pushing aside the dull ache of being forgotten. My name is Rachel. I'm 21 years old, studying engineering at university, and I've been building my life without her for a long time. Tuition was covered by scholarship, but rent, groceries, and everything else came from the wages I earned at my campus job and a ruthless budget. Meanwhile, my mother had crafted a new identity beside Gregory, a man who had made it painfully clear from the start that her old life, including me, didn't fit into his vision. When my half-brother was born, what little space I'd had in her world evaporated completely. The email sat there like a demand. RSVP. I inhaled deeply, clicked the little red button, and chose decline. The small act left my hands trembling. It felt reckless, but also, strangely, like breathing fresh air after years underground. I shut my laptop, told myself to focus on finals, and pretended it was just another ordinary evening. Except ordinary evenings don't come with phone calls from people who've avoided you for years. Rachel. Her voice cracked through the line, thin and tearful. How could you decline our Christmas invitation? Everyone was so excited to see you. The everyone nearly made me laugh. Her tone, desperate and emotional, was one I couldn't recall hearing directed at me in a very long time. I have plans, I lied, eyes on the blank squares of my calendar. Only exam dates filled its pages. Please, she whispered. Please reconsider. Your grandma, Uncle Patrick, all your cousins, they'll all be there. It wouldn't feel right without you. The irony was cruel. For 3 years, Christmas had gone on perfectly fine without me. I'd seen the evidence in the pictures my grandmother Louise had shown me at our coffee meetups. Pictures captioned, Family Christmas, as though I'd never existed. Then a rustle of movement, and another voice broke through. Gregory. Listen, he snapped, sharp and cold. Your mother is crying because of you. Do you have any idea how selfish you're being, after all she's done for you? Something in me, bent for years, finally cracked. What exactly has she done for me, Gregory? My words came quick and hot. 3 texts a year? Pretending I don't exist until it's time for the Christmas photo? Don't act like you suddenly care whether I'm there. You made sure I wasn't part of this family the second you showed up. You're a selfish little brat, he spat. Your mother deserves better. You're right, I said, voice steady to my own surprise. She deserved a husband who didn't convince her to forget about her daughter. I hung up before he could reply. My hand shook. The silence in my room felt heavy, pressing, and guilt clawed at me. No matter how true my words were, the image of my mother crying was unbearable. My phone lit up with a new message. Grandma Louise, your mother just called me in tears. What happened? Instead of replying, I dialed her number. If anyone deserved honesty, it was her, the only person who had never turned her back on me. I declined Mom's invitation. I confessed once we'd said our greetings. She called crying, and then Gregory got on and called me a jerk. There was a pause, then a weary sigh. I can't say I'm surprised. Her voice wasn't disappointed in me, only in the situation in her own daughter. Rachel, I've told your mother for years how cruel those perfect family photos are. She always says she'll do better, that she'll reach out. And then Gregory tells her you're fine without her, that college kids don't need their parents fussing. I swallowed, throat tight. Then why invite me now? Why suddenly care? Another pause. This one heavier. Because I told her I wasn't going to Christmas this year unless you were included, she admitted softly. But what I wanted was for her to actually call you, talk to you, not just send out some shiny group invitation. The words landed like a punch. My seat at that table wasn't about belonging. It was a bargaining chip, a condition my grandmother had set. I hadn't been wanted. I'd been negotiated. And somehow, that hurt more than being forgotten altogether. Should I have said yes? I asked, the uncertainty hitting me like a delayed wave. That depends, she replied calmly. Do you really want to sit through a dinner where Gregory glares across the table and your mother acts like nothing's wrong? Or would you rather spend Christmas with me? I was going to leave early anyway. Her offer was tempting, but the picture of my mother crying had been burned into my mind. Guilt pulled at me. You didn't make her upset, Rachel, she said gently. Her choices, her actions, that's what upset her. Don't confuse the two. 2 days later, my phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Please meet me to talk. I can bring Gregory or your grandmother if that would help. The idea of Gregory being there made my stomach twist. No Gregory, I typed back. But I'll meet if Grandma comes. We agreed on a small coffee shop halfway between campus and their house. When I walked in, they were already there, seated in the corner. My mother looked diminished. Her usual confidence had slipped away, leaving someone who seemed smaller, fragile. I slid into the chair, nodded at Grandma Louise, and tried to steady my voice. I'm sorry I turned down the invitation, I began, forcing myself to sound composed. But I don't understand why you'd want me there when we barely talk anymore. Mom glanced at Grandma before answering. I thought you wouldn't want me calling or texting all the time. Gregory said college kids need space, that hovering parents only push their children away. A sharp laugh escaped me, humorless. 2 texts a year is hovering? And sending me an invite instead of actually calling about Christmas, that was his idea too, wasn't it? Her voice shrank. Gregory thought it would make you feel respected, like the other relatives. Something inside me cracked. Mom, do you even hear yourself? I'm not some relative you send polite invitations to. I'm your daughter. You've let Gregory control our relationship for years. Grandma reached across the table, squeezed my hand, urging me to keep going. Do you know what it's like to see Facebook photos of your so-called complete family, while I'm excluded? To get a text about a new half-sibling as if I'm a distant acquaintance? Do you know what it's like to feel invisible in your own family? Tears slipped down Mom's cheeks. But for once, I didn't feel guilty. They were her tears to carry, not mine. When you left for college, I saw how Gregory was with our son, she whispered. It hit me how much I had failed you. I've been in therapy, trying to understand why I allowed it. I want to fix this, but I don't know how. Start by not letting Gregory decide how you treat me, I said, sharper than I meant. And don't expect me to pretend the last few years didn't happen. I don't even know my half-siblings. Honestly, I'm scared I'd resent them if I met them. They don't deserve that. She nodded, blotting her eyes with a napkin. If Gregory apologizes, would you consider coming for Christmas? I looked at her closely, really looked. And there it was fear. She was terrified of losing me for good. It felt like a small victory, but not a joyful one. I'm not coming to Christmas dinner, I said firmly. But if Gregory apologizes for the way he spoke to me on the phone, I might agree to meet again. Just us. She nodded, disappointment flickering but not surprise. I understand. Can I at least text you sometimes? Or call? Yes, I said, realizing how much I meant it, but not out of guilt. Only if you truly want to know about my life. She hugged me when we left. It was awkward, but I let her. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a beginning. The following week, she texted me every day. Little things, asking about classes, my break plans. Gregory never apologized, and I didn't go to Christmas dinner. Instead, Grandma came on Christmas Eve. She brought cookies, told wild stories from her youth, and made me laugh until my sides hurt. On Christmas Day, Mom texted again. Coffee. Just me. At the cafe, she was waiting with a small wrapped gift. Merry Christmas, she said, sliding it across. Inside was a professionally restored photo of me as a baby, nestled in the arms of a younger, happier version of her. Thank you. I murmured, running my finger along the glass. I paid for her coffee in return, my gift to her. We talked about safe topics, my engineering program, professors I admired, even a couple of casual dates. Nothing raw, nothing heavy. Just two people trying to relearn each other. Carefully, slowly. When she hugged me goodbye, she didn't cry. And for the first time, I didn't feel that crushing guilt. The distance between us was still real, but now I could imagine a bridge forming. I don't know if we'll ever be truly close again. Some wounds heal into scars that never fully fade. But walking back to my dorm with that framed photo in my bag, I realized something. Being seen doesn't always mean being the center of someone's world. Sometimes it just means being recognized for who you are, even if only in fleeting moments. And if you're reading this feeling invisible in your own family, know this. Your value isn't measured by their blindness. You have the right to set boundaries, to demand respect, to walk away from anyone who makes you small, even when they're the people who were supposed to love you most. And sometimes, walking away is exactly what forces them to finally see you.